From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
From Wish TV, I'm Drew Blair in for Kylie Conway with your News 8 Daily 8 on this Friday, April 22nd. Your first headline is words of remorse from the oldest inmate on death row in Texas. The oldest death row inmate in Texas was executed Thursday for killing a Houston police officer during a traffic stop nearly 32 years ago. 78-year-old Carl Wayne Bunchen died at the state penitentiary in Huntsville. He was condemned for the June 1990 fatal shooting of Houston police officer James Irby, a nearly 20-year member of the force. He spoke to Irby's widow from the gurney, saying he has remorse for what he did. These are his words. I pray to God that they get the closure for me killing their father and Miss Irby's husband. I hope to see you in heaven someday, and when you show up, I will give you a big hug. The FBI's Indianapolis office is at the center of a new filing by 13 victims in the Larry Nassar sexual abuse scandal. Each of the women filed claims for $10 million related to the agency's failures in Indiana and Los Angeles. A report from the Justice Department watchdog found that agents did not treat the allegations seriously and tried to cover up their lack of action. The victims' filings claimed the FBI's mishandling allowed more than 100 women to be assaulted after the first accusations. The women filed tort claims, which is a necessary step before a formal lawsuit against a government agency. Nassar is serving what amounts to the rest of his life in prison for the sexual abuse of female athletes. The CEO of one of Indiana's largest employers is criticizing the state's efforts to address health and education levels of Hoosiers in what will increasingly be an economy driven by ideas, not just by putting thoughts together. Eli Lilly and Company's David Ricks shared his thoughts at a luncheon speech in front of the Economic Club of Indiana. He says Indiana is not up to the challenge of the new economy. He cites national data that show Indiana does well in the cost of living, the cost of doing business, and the business climate, but the state's liabilities are dragging down people who live here. New satellite images appear to show more than 200 mass graves near Mariupol in Ukraine. Maxar Technologies released the photos yesterday, hours after Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed victory in the battle for Mariupol. Ukrainian officials accused Russia of burying up to 9,000 civilians in an effort to conceal the slaughter taking place in the port city. President Joe Biden pledged an additional $1.3 billion for Ukraine. He said yesterday this round of aid is for new weapons and economic assistance. The president also says he plans to ask Congress for more money. The second half of your Daily 8 top stories, next. Today, another Purple Line closure goes into effect. Indigo will shut down Wheeler Road from Otis Avenue to Hawkins Road in Lawrence. A temporary bus stop for Route 4 will be at Post and Otis. Indigo expects the closure to last 30 days. Then a second closure on the same road will be from Hawkins to Rising Roads. The Purple Line is another mass transit route that will take riders east to west, Indianapolis and Lawrence. Hamilton County's Nickel Plate Trail is expanding into Indianapolis. The state is giving the city $5 million, Fishers $4.5 million, and Noblesville $3.1 million to expand the trail. The trail will connect Fishers to Indianapolis from 42nd to 96th Streets. DPW hopes to start construction early next year and finish it by the end of 2024. The total project is estimated to cost $12 million. Indiana's NAACP unveiled a major initiative it calls a blueprint to help Black students in the state. It's called the Indiana Black Academic Excellence Plan. The NAACP says part of the work outlined in the plan to help close achievement gaps includes mandatory full-day kindergarten, eliminating high-stakes tests to measure school accountability, and support cultural competency planning. A collection of educators, legislators, and advocates are putting their voices behind a plan to improve education outcomes for Indiana's Black students population, and the Indiana State Conference of the NAACP is leading the charge. An Indiana community is waging war on Nerf wars. For those who have missed out on the fun, Nerf wars involve informal battles outdoors, in basements, at the office, basically anywhere, with the foam firing toys. Large annual Nerf wars with established rules and regulations are a popular pastime. But in the Dearborn County city of Greendale, police are calling for some decorum. Multiple people have called the department complaining about teens armed with Nerf blasters, speeding in cars, disrupting traffic, trespassing, encroaching on property and just being a disturbance in the community. The department posted this on Facebook. While we encourage the youth to have some fun, we would prefer that they do it in a manner that isn't going to result in a life-changing event for them or their family. Thank you for catching up with the News 8 Daily 8. Make the most of your Friday. I'm Drew Blair.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.